Get ready, please.
The Fawley Challenge Cup we are back to now, and we have on the Berkshire side the Grange School from Northwich in Cheshire.
Go!
And all in blue.
Oh, they've gone off sideways here.
Frankfurt. There was a slightly perilous moment there when there was a possibility of a clash, and you can see the umpire is active early, and there is a steering issue, and the Grange are worryingly close to rowing substantially off course, but I think we're back online now.
Absolutely, yeah. And what we saw there is as the crew came over, what can happen is the other crew move away. The thing can work in two directions. Ideally, the crew that's being sort of the non-offending crew just holds its line, but two things can happen. Occasionally they're tempted to follow the other crew back across, or if they move away even worse, they can end up on the boom. So but, both crews negotiated that safely.
Frankfurt Rowing Club just back from Cologne with a bucket full of medals from the German nationals. They're force to be reckoned with in German domestic rowing. Established back at the end of the 19th century, row on the Main River, out of a very prestigious boathouse next to Frankfurt Stadel Museum.
We're seeing an interesting race develop here. We talked a little about the importance of staying in contact. Still an overlap between these crews, and to be honest, if they're still overlapping at this point, the boat speeds are quite similarly matched. It then becomes increasingly difficult to change the boat speed. So I think we're going to see a good second half to this race.
This is bubbling up very nicely. Frankfurt, of course, raced yesterday. They beat Tiffin School by 5 lengths relatively early in the day. The Grange School were one of just 2 crews in the Fawley Challenge Cup given a bye through yesterday, and so for them this is their first involvement, going from the River Weaver in Cheshire. Frankfurt have an advantage, but it's not one that at this stage they can take for granted. I think there's still just about an overlap there.
Absolutely. This is an interesting time of the race because you go off the start, there's crowds on the bank, you get a bit of cheering, you feel like you're in an unusual event. As you come towards the finish, there's cheering from this point on. But this sort of 500 metres is just right. A little bit in a vacuum there sometimes, not a lot of noise, it gets very calm and quiet. And often it can determine the race a little bit, how people respond to that different environment, just that stillness.
See again, etched on the faces there, the physical effort that's required. Some wear their heart on their oar more than others in that regard. But Frankfurt are certainly being made to labour hard for their continued advantage here as they reach the enclosures out of that vacuum to which Johnny refers.
Yeah, we see the marker boards there with the 2 and the 1 just sticking up in the background, just showing the sort of the length advantage. There'll come a little bit of an advantage to the Grange as they come up the enclosures here. Just they're on the bank side of the river, and it just gives a little incentive, little additional advantage that can just get them back into contact. I think what Frankfurt have broken clear now, so it may be that even with that, it's not enough to get the Grange moving.
Frankfurt do have clear water now, and the Grange could really do with that additional wind beneath their wings. But even that now, it would appear, won't be sufficient to make up ground on this very efficient German crew, who actually came here last year and lost to Wallingford on the first day, so their progress already improved. It's an event at which Germany internationally have thrived recently. Germany won gold in London, the quad sculls.
Yeah, Germany, great pedigree in the quad sculls at international level. Historically in Britain we didn't do so much sculling early on. I suppose that a lot of the bigger schools were sweep rowers. This event has really made a big difference, I think, to sculling in that a lot of perhaps the less traditional rowing schools now can put a quad out, maybe smaller schools, easy to find 4 rowers and easy to find 8. So fantastically competitive event.
Right, a fine row by these four boys from Frankfurt, who will go forward, and justifiably so, to the Friday of the Henley Royal Regatta 2015. It was a good race for perhaps 2/3 of the contest. Only the last 400 or 500 metres really painful for the Grange School, who put up a good fight but come in second.